Coming up next on Bear News, we'll tell you how UNC students have many opportunities to celebrate and learn about other cultures.
Baseball and softball are closing in on their regular season and did not rest over Easter. Find out how the Bears did later on in sports.
And what's with that wind? I'll let you know in weather.
We've got all that and more on this episode of Bear News. Stay tuned. Thanks for joining us on Bear News. I'm Becca Heath.
And I'm Kristen Skovalich. Getting to experience different cultures' traditions is easy here at UNC. The campus is always hosting events that give students the chance to either celebrate their own heritage or learn about a new one. The third annual Global Cultural event took place in Kepner on Friday. The president of the African Culture Club, Rosanna Boulets, explained that the purpose of the event is to give the international and minority students on campus the opportunity to teach others a little bit about their culture. The event featured many talented students performing everything from traditional dances to songs they wrote and even freestyle rapping. The event concluded with a fashion show and a buffet of authentic cultural cuisine. Students could also purchase handmade crafts from Ghana, with all the proceeds going to a refugee center here in Greeley. The UC is often a busy place filled with not only UNC students. Last week, it was host to the World Language Day. This event invited high school students from all over the state to come and learn more about different countries.
The University Center is crowded with over 1,000 visitors this morning. There are so many booths representing countries and international organizations that the high schoolers coming from all over Colorado don't know which way to turn.
I think it's a lot of fun. I always think talking about it and supporting their friends who are competing in the event. So I think it's a very good experience for them.
The teenagers have the opportunity to compete against each other during the speeches competitions and even bite into some exotic specialties.
I think the World Language Day, and the best part of it is definitely the free food. I am right now in the European food room where people cannot wait to try the different kind of cakes coming from Europe.
The talent shows are a big part of the entertainment offered today. Some UNC students are judging the performers.
Kids had 5 minutes to represent the German language the best way possible that they could. So I had people that did acoustic Rammstein, and I had French horns players to dancers.
Lectures and conferences will run until the end of the event. Scholars coming from everywhere in the US are welcomed with great pomp by the university to share their knowledge in matter of language education.
From what I see, this is one of the greatest.
Reporting from the University Center at UNC, I'm Estelle Plaguet, KMCO News.
The event is another chance for students to experience different cultures.
The Marcus Garvey Cultural Center hosts many events. One of this month's events was the Unity Fish Fry. The event allowed students and faculty members to enjoy free food while mingling with other members of the UNC community. It was a loud atmosphere with music and fun as students stopped by for a break in between classes. The fish fry offered students fish and chips on a first-come, first-served basis. Students also had an option of Cajun fish.
Well, we were experiencing some of that beautiful springtime weather, but here lately the wind has been blowing in some cold air. Is the shorts and flip-flop weather going to return before this semester is over? Bear News meteorologist Paul Ford has our first look at weather to let us know. Paul?
Hey, thanks, Kristen. Right now, It's getting a little crazy out there right now, but it's a nice 49 degrees, although the wind chill is bringing that down to about 35 to 40 degrees right now, and that's thanks to the 20-mile-per-hour wind and the 24-mile-per-hour gusts that we're having. But coming up in weather, we've got a look at when will this wind stop, and we're going to take a look at the rest of the week. But first of all, back to you guys.
Thanks, Paul. Coming up after the break, we'll tell you about some important student staff around campus.
Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
You can make it.
The only triple doubles you get come with fries.
Last time you blocked someone, you were online.
I can do this all day. Your moves are just gay.
Using gay to mean dumb or stupid, not cool. Not cool. Not in my house, not anywhere. It's not creative, it's offensive to gay people. And you're better than that.
Clean kitchen surfaces, utensils, and hands with soapy water. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
The Latina Youth Leadership Conference is an annual event that promotes higher education and leadership to young girls. The event has been taking place for 17 years.
The 17th Annual Latina Youth Leadership Conference is on its way. 8th grade students from schools all across Greeley are in attendance. The conference filled up quickly as 300 middle school students took their seats to hear Cheryl Saavedra, this year's guest speaker. The event includes workshops where the girls split up in group lessons like a self-esteem workshop, as well as a cultural awareness for Latino women. I got the chance to speak to Cheryl Saavedra to learn more about what inspired her to speak at this event.
I am here today as the keynote speaker of the 17th Annual Latina Youth Leadership Conference. I'm so happy to be here today to have the opportunity to speak to the young women here about the potential for their future and the potential for higher education, not only at the bachelor's degree level, but beyond the bachelor's degree level in order to pursue doctorate level type degrees in medicine, law, or whatever field that they feel that they're interested in. And I'm so happy to be here today to share my experiences with them.
Reporting from the University Center, I'm Carlton Lawrence, Bear News.
Thanks, Carlton. Hundreds of UNC students aren't just students here at UNC. They are also employees around campus. For the hardworking student employees at UNC, the university held an event to honor their commitment. UNC held a recognition ceremony for these student employees last week. The various businesses that we walk by daily in the UC or other organizational jobs couldn't be as successful without the help of UNC students. With a ceremony completely dedicated to them, they finally got to sit back and participate in the celebration. Students awarded with Employee of the Year were given bags filled with an assortment of goodies from the companies in the UC. In addition, each organization on campus employed by students presented their employee banners on the walls of the ballrooms to be displayed and judged. Each banner showed the great love the faculty has for their student staff. Students were encouraged by faculty to continue the hard work, as success is only achieved through hard work and diligence. Student employees are an important part of UNC, and the campus wouldn't be the same without them.
Who would think a tie-dye event would bring awareness to UNC students? Well, that is exactly what Student Leaf did last Monday. Student Leaf, along with other campus organizations, celebrated the Earth and brought awareness to the university by hosting many fun events for Earth Week. One of these events was a tie-dye event on Monday at the UC patio to talk to students about sustainable ideas for the campus. The event lasted from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. and welcomed more than 200 students to tie-dye t-shirts all over. The materials at this event were 100% organic, everything from the dye to the t-shirts, which were made purely from cotton.
So, Paul, the wind has been kind of crazy. What's going on?
You've been outside, right?
Oh, yeah, it's bad.
It's crazy out there. What I will say right now is we're looking at a very breezy week right now, but I'll explain more after the break.
also spent 8 minutes decorating their little brother.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Live with a human for a while and you get to know a few things. Like, I know she's actually not a morning person. I know she does strange tricks for no treats. I know that water makes her howl like crazy. I even know how the floor stays so clean. She's quick. But the one thing I will never for the life of me know is how she gets so tiny and inside that box. Natalie, how do you get so tiny?
Welcome back to Bear News. I'm meteorologist Paul Four. Taking a look outside, we're seeing some clouds, but a little bit of sunniness right now. I know for me, I pretty much just got blown away on my way to the studio this morning. Right now, we're looking at this cold front right now, which has been bringing some tornadic activity to the southwest or to the southeast right now. But right here around Colorado, you're seeing those close bars right there. That's what all the wind is here in Colorado. And we've been seeing gusts up to 60 miles per hour here in Colorado. Look at the temperatures around the nation right now. We're looking at some 40s and 50s throughout the Midwest. Luckily, we've got some 70s down in the south right now, but you can see that cold Canadian air coming into Colorado and making our lives a little bit miserable. And speaking of miserable, look at those lows for tonight. We're back in the 20s tonight. We're looking at about 28 degrees in Denver, 26 in Colorado Springs, and 27 in Lyman. Head farther to the south, and you might see a couple temperatures around freezing. Now for tonight's forecast, around 7 o'clock tonight, as the sun is setting, we're going to see temperatures around 46 degrees. The winds should still be around the 30 to 40 mile per hour mark. Now tonight, unfortunately, we've got a slight chance of snow. That could be rain depending on what the temperatures are like. If we get any snow, it will be about around the traces, but we'll still see some winds into the night, so be careful if you're driving. But those winds should subside a little bit as we head into the morning with some partly cloudy skies. Now for next week's forecast, we've got the 60s on Thursday, and we're going to just keep climbing from there. 69 on Friday, and then clear skies, and luckily the wind should be going away Saturday into Sunday as we see a break in the forecast. Now we're off to Rachel Turnock with the sports.
Thanks, Paul. It may be April, but that doesn't mean that the UNC football team is resting. Find out what the Bears have been up to since the fall after the break.
Hey, give me a spot. You know my motto, safety first.
They could be dangerous. I think we should call animal control.
Animal control?
To be safe.
Don't worry. I got this. It's a new motto.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Here's your check.
Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. Got it. No?
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
The 2014 baseball season has been unkind to the Bears thus far, sporting a 5-31 record heading into a 3-game set against Grand Canyon University over Easter weekend. UNC was able to win 8-6 on Friday. Shortstop Ryan Yamani contributed with 2 hits in 5 at-bats, including a double and 2 RBIs. Designated hitter Brian Tibbetts also drove in 2 runs in the winning effort. The Bears did not fare as well in Game 2 of the series despite good work from the team's offense. UNC collected a total of 11 hits, 3 of which came from designated hitter Brandon Vaughn on just 3 official at-bats. But unfortunately, the Bears' pitching staff let them down, surrendering 12 earned runs. The Bears lost this game 5-12. With the split of the first 2 games, the Bears sought to tilt the series in their favor with a win on Easter Sunday. The Bears were hit hard in the first 2 innings, allowing 5 combined runs, but it was the impressive range and throw of third baseman Brandon Vaughn that put a stop to the bleeding. Moving forward to the 6th inning, the Bears trailed 6-0. Center fielder Jensen Park is at the dish with the bases juiced, and he drives in 2 runs to cut the lead to 4 with this infield single. Unfortunately, that was the Bears' only shot at getting back in the game as Grand Canyon poured on 8 more runs in the final 2 innings. The Bears totaled just 6 hits over 9 frames. The UNC pitching staff allowed 15. The Bears lost the game 14-3 and ended up losing the weekend series, winning just 1 of 3. Down 0-2 in the weekend series against Idaho State, the UNC softball team had one more chance to take a win on Easter Sunday. The Bears took the lead with 2 home runs from Erica Dick and Nicole Hudson to give them the 3-0 lead in the 4th. Idaho State got their bats going for a late scoring inning to take a 6-4 lead. UNC totaled 3 errors, one of which ended in a run for Idaho State, but out-hit the Bengals 9-6. With this 6-4 loss, the Bears are 15-31 overall and 6-6 in conference play. The men's lacrosse team won a thriller against Montana State after a huge performance from Tanner Dugan. The Bears looked like they were going to run away with this one early, going up 3-0 in the first quarter. Montana State didn't roll over, though, and took a 5-4 lead going into the half. After a back-and-forth second half, the Bears would eventually tie the game in the 4th, sending the game into overtime. With under a minute to play, Dugan was ready to go home and did this one all by himself and sent the Bears fans home happy. As we all know, college football has no real offseason. Just recently, the Bears' football team began spring practices in preparation for the upcoming season in the fall. For a more expansive look at the football team's training, we sent Bear News reporter Kyle O'Neill on the scene.
Spring is in the air at the UNC campus, and that can only mean one thing. Football is just around the corner. After a disappointing 2013 campaign, Coach Colin's squad is facing a lot of change, both on the football field and in the coaching staff. Offensively, the Bears have a new offensive line coach in Trevor Wilkie, who previously held a similar role on the Adams State coaching staff during the past 2 seasons. The Bears are also on the lookout for their next starting quarterback. In the mix are Sean Rubalcaba and brothers Brock and Brant Berglund. On the defensive side of the ball, Larry Kerr joins the coaching staff as defensive coordinator. Kerr previously spent time improving defenses at Stanford, UCLA, Duke, and most recently at CSU. There's still months to go before opening the 2014 season, but for now, the team just looks to get better each and every day. The spring football game is in just a couple weeks and will be held at Nottingham Field on April 26th. Reporting from the UNC practice fields, I'm Kyle O'Neill, Bear News.
I definitely have high hopes for the team this upcoming season. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree. I do too.
Yeah? It's going to be a good season.
Coming up after the break, we'll tell you how UNC students took advantage of the warm weather last week.
Stick around. We'll be right back in 60 seconds.
Your child knows how to deal with bullying when they see it happening. And chances are they want help, but they don't really know how. I'll teach them that the best thing to do is calmly walk away, find a teacher or other adult, and speak up. And do your part. Be that adult they can talk to and trust will listen. Join me to help stop bullying. Go to stopbullying.gov to find out more.
You sure you don't want some? It's chamomile. Listen, you are extremely terrifying. Just the scariest undead subhuman thing on TV, and I really mean that. But I am worried that you could give my kids nightmares if they see you, so I'm gonna have to block you. So that's it. Oh, and tell the zombies they're blocked too.
Spring is here and bringing warmer temperatures to the UNC campus. This is the perfect time to bust out the slip and slide. That is exactly what happened last Tuesday as students gathered at the hill by the UNC practice fields for some fun in the sun. Students ran, slipped, and slid down the large orange tarp. Some attendees made multiple runs down the tarp by themselves while others went down with their friends. But the most fun way to go down the slip and slide seemed to be with a mass group of students all going down at the same time. Those not brave enough to take a plunge down the hill had fun in their own way by tanning, playing volleyball, and just hanging out with friends. This is the second year in a row that UNC sees the slip and slide, so it looks like this is becoming an annual event.
That looks like it was so much fun.
I know, I wish I could have been there.
Me too.
Thanks for joining us on Bear News. We'll be back for our final show of the semester on Thursday.
Until then, stay up to date on our Facebook page and Twitter, Bear News 98. Have a great week.